Welcome back to Umineko. So this should be the final part of episode 3, where we will tackle the tea party and then the question marks. So let's just jump right into that.
まさか最後の最後でベルンカステル教の駒が乱入してくるとは。
あんたとのゲームにふさわしい駒をずいぶんあちこち探し回ったの。きっと気に入ってもらえると思うわ。
何よあの駒、誰よあいつ、何者よ。名乗らないなんてずるいわよ。
I'm like 99% sure it's gonna be Anj, but it could be someone else. I don't know.
ねえ、あんたもそう思うでしょ。
わらわはだいたい察しはついておるが、というか普通わかるであろう。
I mean, they probably put it in the credits there specifically so that you figure it out. Just like they do want you to know that. So I think that it's not very like impressive or anything to have figured that out by now is what she's saying.
普通わかんないわよ。初登場のキャラでしょ。名乗らなかったら私もプレイヤーもみんなわかんないわよね。
ベアト、教えてあげなくていいわよ。ね、面白い子でしょ。
うん。ラムダデルタ教の天真爛漫にして天然なところは実に貴重で面白いものである。
I'm wondering if maybe Ava Beatrice is actually going to be like a character now. If she's actually a real witch and she's going to be showing up in these parts, maybe.
何よ何よ、なんで私にだけ教えてくれないのよ。意地悪。じゃあ私だけが気づいたとっておきの秘密を特別に教えてあげるわ。だから教えなさいよ。
ほう、とっておきの秘密とな。聞きたいぞ聞きたいぞ。
ビーだ。教えてほしかったら先にあの女の正体を教えるのよ。私の知った秘密はすごいわよ。何しろサンタさんの正体が実はお父さんだったってくらいすごいんだから。あら言っちゃった。ごめんなさいね。天地がひっくり返るくらいびっくりしちゃったでしょ。
ラムダのとこにはお父さんが来てたの？
来てたのってどういう意味よ。
サンタクロース教は心の綺麗な子供のところへしか訪れないのよ。あんたのとこには来なかったのね。
まあサンタクロース教は寛大であるからな。よっぽどの大悪党でもない限りプレゼントを恵んでくださるぞ。何しろわらわにもくれたくらいだからな。
成長して心がすさんでくると来なくなるのよね。ベアトのとこにはいくつくらいまで来てたの？
Bet you anything she's gonna say that he still comes even today. That he never stopped coming for her because she never grew old and jaded.
うん、12歳くらいまでは来ておったぞ。
Or not. Or she just gives a completely normal answer.
乙女心に目覚めると急にサンタ教が来るのがなんだか恥ずかしくなってな。これまでありがとうございました。もう結構です。だから最後のプレゼントは奮発してくださいと手紙を置いたら来なくなった。 ちょっぴり期待したのだがな。ベルンカステル卿はいつくらいまで来ていたのか。
私すさんでたし、結構早かったっけ。確か9歳頃ね。なんかあのヒゲが無性にムカついてちょん切ってやろうと布団の中で裁縫ばさみ構えて待ってたの。痛いお年頃よね。
でラムダデルタ卿には物心ついてからサンタクロース卿がおいでになったことがないと。普通は小学校高学年から中学校くらいまでの間までは来るものであるぞ。
Why are we spending so much time on Santa Claus here?
ある意味お医者で見てもらった方がいいわよ。早熟すぎると心身の成長に悪影響があるらしいから。ああ、確かに出てるわね、悪影響。
何の話をしてるのよ、あんたたちは。
魔女も3人集まれば実にかしましい。
この程度のレベルの秘密じゃ引く価値もなさそうね。私もう行ってもいい？次のゲームの準備をしなくちゃならないから。
ちょっと待ちなさいよ。あの女の正体を教えなさいよ。
じゃああなたのとっておきの秘密を先に教えなさいよ。見合うものだったら教えてあげるわ。
いいわよ、教えてあげるわ。とっておきの秘密なんだから。
I wonder if her secret's gonna be that she's responsible for creating Ava Beatrice.
ほら、今回のゲームで黄金を見つけて新しい魔女になった子がいたでしょ。
あやつに一体どんな秘密があるというのか。
あの子の正体にね、私気づいちゃったの。みんなにはわかるかしら。ヒントはね、喋り方にあったのよ。ほら、あの子よく口にしてたでしょ。なんとかしちゃえばって。そう、この語尾がポイントだったのよ。エヴァ。そう、あいつの正体は後ろ宮エヴァだったのよ。
How is that a secret, exactly?
と驚いちゃったかしら。
ほう、それは気づかなかった。そのようなところにヒントがあったとはな。
ベアトって付き合いがいいのね。その子増長するからほどほどになさいよ。じゃあね、私は席を外すわ。
ちょっと私の秘密だけ聞いてあんたは喋んないなんてずるいわよ。あんたもあの女の正体を話しなさいよ。
あんたの秘密がすごすぎて釣り合わないわ。じゃあ代わりに私もとっておきの秘密を教えてあげるわ。日暮らしの泣く頃にってゲームの犯人の名前を教えてあげる。
Yeah, don't do that, please.
言わないで。私今プレイしてるとこなの。
じゃあね、ベアト。紅茶美味しかったわ。あとお茶菓子のクラッカーだけどジャムのレパートリーが足りないわ。たまにはコチュジャンでも用意しなさい。
So I wonder if that counts as Baron Castle's victory for that game. It must, right?
ロシアンティーにもぴったりだし。じゃあね。
そうか、わかったぞ。試してみよう。次のゲームの準備が整ったら呼ぼうぞ。 それまでゆっくり戦略でも練るがよい。
ええ、そうするわ。今回のゲームはなかなか面白かったわよ。じゃあね。
ちょっと待ちなさいよ、教えなさいよ。
いやいや、本当にお二人は仲が良い。
ええ、そうよ。大好きよ、ベルンカステル。愛してるとさえ言ってもいいわ。あの瞳をえぐり出して私以外を映さないようにしてやりたい。それは本当に素敵よね。紅茶に沈めても素敵かもしれない。
ラムダデルタ教をここまで夢中にさせるとは。わらわも責任重大であるな。しかし今回は実に惜しかった。あと一息でバトラをコロリといけたもの。
Yeah, but you just couldn't keep it in your pants, basically. You dropped the act at the last second. If you would have just let him sign it, he probably wouldn't have hesitated, and then that person bursting through the window probably wouldn't have been in time.
ベアと一個聞いていい？
なんであるか？あの女の名前は教えぬぞ。
いつまでチャラけてんのよ。あんた勝つ気あんの
Lambda Delta threatened her with a low voice that she had never used in front of Berncastle. It completely blew away the calm atmosphere that had been there until a moment ago.
私はね、ベルンカステルに勝てる魔女ってことであんたに肩入れしてんのよ。あんたにベルンカステルに勝てる力がないってんなら、いつだって私はあんたなんか見捨てるんだからね。
これは手厳しい。わらわの何がご不満なのか、今日もご存知の通り、わらわのゲーム盤は完璧だ。ベルンカステル教には決して勝てはせん。
そうよ。あんたのゲーム版は実に見事よ。ベルンカステルが100年はおろか1000年を費やそうとも絶対に勝つことのできない実に見事な完璧なゲーム版よ。だから私はそれを借りることの引き換えにあんたを魔女にしてやったのよ。私があんたの後見人をやめればあんたはすぐに人間に逆戻り。どんなにすごい魔力を持っていてもあんたは仮初めの魔女でしかないことを決して忘れないことよ。
Interesting. By the way, we've got this still. Who else was there? There was Jessica, we didn't read. Missing. She certainly was joined with Kanon in the Golden Land. They both apologized for their own cowardice, communicating their true and honest feelings, and they hugged each other until their final moments. Afterwards, she was chewed to pieces by demons and went to hell. It's alright, Kanon is with her. And I think that's everyone. I should also check, I feel like these might have new information. No, not really. No, it seems like this is all the same as before.
そなたには感謝し
でよ。ベルンカステルがいる時は許すけど、いない時は許さないわ。あんた最近私の恩を忘れてるでしょ。
そんなことはありません。
はあ、やっぱ気持ち悪いわ。いつもの喋り方でいい。でも口の利き方には注意してよ。私案外短気よ。話を戻すわ。あんたのゲーム版は実に完璧。ベルンカステルを容易に任すことができるでしょ。しかしあの子は簡単に屈服しない。
問題はない。ラムダデルタ教のお墨付きではないか。わらわのゲーム版は完璧だ。
そうよ、完璧よ。プレイヤーであるあんたも完璧ならね。
それはどういう意味か。
どういう意味？私が聞きたいくらいよ。あんたのゲームには遊びが多い。それは時にベルンカステルを煙に巻くから、あんたなりの策略なんだと私も最初は思ってた。でもなんだか違う気がするの。あんた勝てる試合をもてあそんでるんじゃなくて、勝っても負けてもどうでもいいって思ってるんじゃないの？
バカバカしい。そんなことあるわけもなかろうが。
いいこと？あんたの役目はベルンカステルを屈服させることよ。つまりゲームに永遠に勝者でいること。あなたが絶対の勝者であり続けようとする限り、私は絶対の魔女としてあなたに力を与えるわ。でももしあなたが自らの敗北の可能性を否定しないような戦い方をしているなら、話は変わるわよ。
もちろんこれはゲームである。わらわが勝てばベルンカステル教が負けるように、向こうが勝てばわらわが負ける日もあるが、常に敗北の可能性はあり得る。だからこそわらわは。
だからあんたは使えないのよ。あんたはゲーム版である必要なんかない。ベルンカステルを永遠にここに閉じ込める鳥かごでさえあればいいの。鳥かごの役目は中の小鳥を絶対に逃がさないことよ。たまに抜け出せてしまうような隙間のある鳥かごに何の価値が？
無論ゲームに勝つためのもの。
That sounds eerily similar to what Kenzo and Beatrice's dynamic was supposed to be.
そしてわらわが負けることはありえぬ。故にわらわは勝ち続けようぞ。お望み通り永遠に。
いい返事よ。それでいいわ。策略としての遊びやフェイクは許す。今回有効だったところもあるしね。でもね、もしあなたが勝ち以外を望むような指し手をしたら、その時は素敵な覚悟をなさいよね。
そのようなことはせぬ。スカウト。
もともと魔女ですらないあんたが本当はどんなにみすぼらしい存在だったか、 いつだって思い出させてあげるんだから。私の期待を裏切ったらその時は楽しい罰ゲームが待ってるわよ。
I really don't know what to think about this information that Beatrice wasn't a witch. Like, is the whole 1,000-year witch thing not actually true? Or is it just that in witch terms, 1,000 years isn't very long and she hasn't actually been a witch for very long?
100億のかけら世界の中から最も惨めなかけらにあんたを送り込んで封印してあげる。あんたはもともとが惨めだから惨めなかけらも実に選びがいがあるよ。
I wonder if the world of billions of fragments refers to, like, the multiverse, like all the possibilities that exist or something? All the possible worlds?
愛してるわ、ヘルンカステル。ベアトリーチェの鳥かごで好きなだけあがいて。もはや逃れられないことを1000年かけて知りなさい。そしてあなたが屈服したら私の手のひらでしか泣けないようにたっぷりと仕込んであげるんだから。
Huh. So that's the entire tea party. Alright then. Well, let's check out the question marks. "12 years later." What? "1998." What? A monotonous electronic sound kept on repeating. The room was colored with hygienic tones. In other words, an emotionless light. It was a room at a certain university hospital. Neither her doctors nor the person herself had any doubts that this room, which had a price so high that no commoner could afford to spend a single night there, would be the last room she ever saw. Was the person on the bed Ava? Even if someone told you that was so, she was unbelievably aged and worn out. The well-built man in the suit waiting in the corner near the door was having a whispered conversation through an intercom with someone outside. He was a guard protecting Ava's person. After telling the person on the other end of the intercom to wait, he approached Ava's bed. Ava had been awake for a short while. However, she stared at a single point in empty space as though her mind was not in the same place.
園児さんが下のロビーに到着しました。お通ししてよろしいですか?
For a long time, Ava didn't answer. Okay, so it seems like the Ange we saw is the, or Ange we saw, is the Ange from 12 years in the future, so she would be 18. However, bit by bit, her eyes began to regain their focus, and she gave a small nod, indicating that she didn't mind if they called Ange. It had been Ava who called her, and she was right on time. By this point, Ava would refuse anyone who wanted a meeting without an appointment. The room was dark, even though it was still light outside, because the curtains were always closed. There was always one guard waiting in the room, and 3 more waiting in the corridor and the lobby. They were all there to protect Ava's person. Eventually, there was the sound of a knock. Also, there was a message from the intercom that the guest's body check had been completed with no problems. The door was unlocked, then opened, and a high school-aged girl was standing there.
会長、エンジさんがいらっしゃいました。
Ava reacted and turned her face towards the guest. However, instead of reacting to the guard's call, maybe it would be better to say that she reacted to the smell of Ange's makeup. After being shut up in this room for so long, Ava was sensitive to even small changes in smell.
来たわね、エンジ。
来たわ。
Yep, that's her. That's the one we saw. Looking exactly the same age we saw her at. So it's like I said. The Ange from 12 years in the past is 6, and this Ange would be 18. And let's see if she's got a portrait. Oh, she does. Cool. Ushidamiya Ange, the daughter of Rudolph and Kirie, Battler's younger sister from a different mother. She hasn't come in contact with Battler often, but is extremely fond and respectful of him. Huh, the daughter of Rudolph and Kirie, so there's confirmation of that, I think. We don't actually know, but it's, I mean, who else would it be, right? It's obviously Rudolph and Kirie. So that means she is a proper Ushidamiya. She has Kinzo's blood and everything. She was sick and absent during the family conference, so she always ends up surviving in solitude. A very unfortunate girl whose heart is in tatters. Has a bad habit of always walking around with massive amounts of cash, throwing it out to whoever comes first.
呼ばれたから。
On Ava's face, there was no trace of a person warmly welcoming their niece. And on Anja's face, you couldn't see the expression of one pleased to meet their aunt. Ava waved her arm, which had grown as thin as a withered branch, and motioned for the guard to leave. The guard bowed silently and went out into the hall.
暗い上に空気もひどいわ。カーテンでも開けたら。
そうすると、あんたの依頼した殺し屋が窓越しに撃ってくるって寸法なのかしら。
あんたの暗殺依頼なら私が受けたいわ。家でのんびりほんの一月も過ごしてれば勝手に任務が終わるもの。
Their discussion was quite morbid for an aunt and niece. However, they didn't look like they were joking. At the very least, Ava believed that someone was after her life. All of the Ushidamiya family's massive fortune had come into the possession of Ushidamiya Ava. It was said that this fortune also included the 10 tons of hidden gold that Ushidamiya Kinzo was rumored to have hidden. While this vast wealth lay in Ava's cunning, sly, and suspicious hands, no one was able to complain, but it was rumored that as soon as it was passed on to Ange, who was no more than a young girl, certain people were plotting to snatch it away. By now, Ava and Ange were Kinzo's only descendants. If Ava died, all the wealth would go to Ange. And if Ange were then to be killed as well, that wealth would go to the family of Ange's mother, Kirie. In this sense, not only Ava, but Ange as well were in a position where it wouldn't be odd at all for their life to be targeted by some unknown person. And Ava had hated Ange for a long time. This was because she knew that after losing her only precious son, George, the inheritor of her own wealth would be none other than the girl who had been absent at that family conference 12 years ago, and who had survived. Ava shunned Ange, disliked her, and even hated her. She isolated Ange in a special school and separated her from the youth and happiness normal people have, trying to keep her as a pet until death. However, Ava had succumbed to an incurable illness, and ironically, her remaining life was estimated to be the same as Kinzo's had been at the family conference 12 years ago. Both Ava and Ange hated each other. Even though they were each other's last blood relatives, they hated each other so much that they hoped the other would die quickly.
それでわざわざ呼びつけてなんのよ。
私はもう長くないわ。ヤブ医者どもは未だに私が盛られた毒が何かも検出できない。わかってるの。きっと某国の諜報機関で使われてた秘密の暗殺薬なのよ。ああ、私は殺されるのよ。殺されるのよ。よかったわね。もうじき死ぬわよ。そうすればさぞやあなたの胸がすくでしょうね。
Yeah, she's really lost it. I mean, we kind of got that inkling when she killed all those people, but, like, the fact that she killed both Hideyoshi and George shows that, she was pretty paranoid.
かわいそうな人。
This always happened. They immediately deviated from the main topic, distorting it into a more unsettling discussion. Ava, who was absolutely paranoid, believed that someone was always after her life. And in actual fact, after inheriting the vast wealth of the Yoshinomiya family, she had used wild methods just like Kinzo had done in the past, repeatedly making money by any means necessary and creating many enemies along the way. With a massive supply of capital, she had plotted to aggressively buy businesses that were starting to have rapid growth, making them buy it back at a high price under the guise of reconciliation. Ironically, it was the same type of action that her husband's company had been hit with 12 years ago. She had repeated this constantly for 12 years. She had also earned a lot of hatred. If her husband had heard of this from beyond the grave, he might have defended her, saying that the loneliness from losing her family fueled her actions. However, of all the people who knew her now, none would defend her. For some time, Ava eloquently spoke of how her life was being targeted, listing off names of people who hated her, and sneering at the fact that she still hasn't been killed. Even though Ange heard her own name included in that list, there was no particular change in her expression, and she waited indifferently for Ava to tire herself out.
私はね、憎いのよ。
光栄ね。私もよ。
ジョージのために築いた未来だった。それをあんたにかすめ取られるなんて。ルドルフの娘に奪われるなんて。私は悔しい。子も残せず財産すらもそれが許せない。
だったら財産全部お布施にでもしちゃえば。お百度踏んでた宗教系の連中はどうしたのよ。
連中はみんな言うのよ。多すぎる財産が私の負担になっているって。決まってだから預けて清める必要があるとか言い出すのよ。それで思いついたのよ。寄付はやめたわ。
For a time, Ava had searched for the founders of several strange and new religious cults, perhaps seeking peace in her heart. But they gave her heart no relief, and if anything, they ended up increasing her paranoia further.
お金が余ってるなら、サラブレッド買い占めて、コンビーフでも作れば？
それよりもっと面白いことを思いついたのよ。いろいろ悩んだわ。どうやればあなたをひどい目に遭わせられるかをね。殺してしまおうとも思ったわ。
あるいは全ての財産を消し去り、あなたを無一文にして後ろ宮家から叩き出してやろうかとも思ったわ。素敵でしょ。お上品に育てられたご令嬢が腐ったパンや泥水を這いつくばって漁り回るのよ。
楽しい？
楽しいわ。あなたを怯えさせるのはね。でももうじき私は死ぬわ。だから私が死んだ後もどうやってあなたを苦しませ続けるか考えたの。そうしたら案外単純なことだったわ。それをあなたに話したくて呼んだのよ。
そろそろ中間近いんだけど、手短にね。
あなたに全ての財産を相続することにしたわ。
へえ。
それどころか私が死ぬどこまでも財産を増やして膨れに膨らませてあなたに相続することにしたのよ。それがどういうことか想像がつくかし
わかんないわ。バカだから。
そうよね。わかんないでしょうね。楽しみにしてなさいよ。本当に楽しいわよ、お金持ちは。毎日日本中の妖怪が朝から晩まで遊びに来るわよ。あんたの私生活はこれからは全てワイドショーと週刊誌が覗き見してくれるわ。何をしてもしなくてもマスコミは必ず私を批判する。施せばブルジョワだと叩かれ、渋れば主戦度だと罵られる。ああ、本当に素敵な毎日よ。そんな日々に若くて先の長いあなたをぜひ招待してあげようと思いついたの。本当に素敵でしょ。
あんたのしてきたことに対する世間の正当な評価でしょ。
そうね、そうでしょうね。いいわ。好きなだけ私を罵るといいわ。そしてその評価をあなたが背負うのよ。製品が善人、金持ちは死ねというのが日本の文化。あんたはやがて何をしてもしなくても日本中から妬みと恨みの象徴に祭り上げられていく。そんな生活の中で生きていくあなたのこれからの人生はどんなにもいびつなものなのかしらね。あんたの味方は誰もいない。あんたの悩みなど誰も聞かない。あなたを罵ることは公然としたスポーツになる。そしてそれを誰も止めない。ああ、エンジェああ、本当に楽しみよ。あんたはどんな人生を送ってどう終えるのかしら。世界中の誰も信用できず、誰も愛せず、誰とも語り合えない人生をたっぷり満喫しなさい。その苦労話 話を持って地獄へ落ちてくるのを私はのんびりと待っているわ。
I feel like she could easily just donate all of it. Just get rid of it all. It's not like that would matter that much. Like, this isn't that great of a plan, honestly. Her insane laughter turned into a painful cough, without changing her expression in the slightest, looking completely unconcerned, and stared at the only survivor of Rokenjima. Perhaps because he found the violent coughing suspicious, the guard gave a short knock on the door and rushed in at the same time. Ange glanced at him, wordlessly making it clear that she didn't intend to move a step from where she was. Ange was prepared for some kind of trap to frame her in Ava's death. However, that was fortunately a needless fear. As the guard rubbed Ava's back, he poured hot water from a thermos into a mug. As he did, Ava kept coughing, apparently in pain. Ange figured that this was probably the last she'd see of the Rokenjima witch's final days. Eventually, the coughing subsided, and Ava regained her normal breathing. I wonder why Ava didn't survive. Like Ava is, like, all this sickly after only 12 years. Like, she was only, like, 50, right? So she would be, like, 62 now? That's really, like... She should still be, like, pretty healthy as long as she's living an active lifestyle and she has, like, proper medical care. Like, with the amount of money she has, I don't see why she would be in such bad condition. However, the glittering madness inside her eyes hadn't subsided in the slightest. Like, the only explanation I can think of is, like, this is some kind of actual disease, like just some kind of terminal illness or something. I guess it might even be the same illness that Kinzo had.
黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェの名を今こそあなたに譲るわ。魔女の名にふさわしい狂って歪んだ生涯を楽しみなさい。
そんなのいらないわ。それより教えて、あの日六軒島で何があったの？事故があったなんて私は信じない。
As if it would be an accident. Like, of course it's not an accident. Like, did they actually try and pass it off as all that being an accident?
あの日に何があったのか、父さんと母さんと兄さんがどうして死んだのか、本当のことを教えて。
ああ、それが一番の嫌がらせよね。あの日に何があったか。1986年の今日、なんて言葉を残して3人が死んだのか知りたいわよね。呪われた黄金は残す。でもね、あんたが望む真相は私が地獄まで持っていくわ。それがあんたにできる一番の嫌がらせよ。悔しい？聞きたければ地獄まで行ってあんたの家族に聞いてみるといい。なら今すぐ死なないとね。今すぐへそでも噛んで死んじゃえば。
That laugh continued until she started coughing again. and that cough did not subside until she started moaning and going into convulsions. October 4th, 1986. On Rokkenjima, the Yoshinomiya family's customary and final family conference was held. And on the next day, October 5th, an extremely unfortunate accident occurred, and the Yoshinomiya family was wiped out. I guess maybe if they just swept aside all the details with money, then that would be one way of passing it off as an accident, but I think if the police got any wind of any of the details, like, there's no way that this would be considered an accident, even remotely. Fortunately, Yoshinomiya Eva escaped from that, and inherited almost all of the Yoshinomiya family's fortune. However, due to the many turbulent rumors surrounding the Yoshinomiya family, the way Eva acted afterwards, and her unnatural actions at the time of the unfortunate accident, the public was in an uproar over whether this might have been a conspiracy to get all of the inheritance for herself. I mean, it was, so they were right. Under pressure from the public, prosecutors repeatedly tried to investigate the matter, and the media began tracing the outline of a conspiracy they called the Rokkenjima suspicion. But in the end, they weren't even able to find proof that this unfortunate accident was a crime. However, because the media continued to give the impression that the Rokkenjima suspicion was a conspiracy of Eva's, public opinion began to believe that she was the true culprit. Of course, that was also influenced by the bad impression caused by all that easily condemnable, overbearing financial activity, which she had carried out using that vast wealth. Every time she did something and the rumors started spreading, the media would bring back the Rokkenjima suspicion, blaming the criminal justice system by saying that she was the true culprit and that the only reason she hadn't been arrested was because even the police had been bribed. And I mean, they would have had to be, because that's the only way they wouldn't have found what was going on there. So the impression that she was a great villain grew stronger and stronger. Her heart eventually degenerated, and ironically it began to transfigure her into the kind of human that the public expected. By now, Eva had no one she could trust and no family. After her beloved husband passed away, the talk shows occasionally mentioned his company, saying that it was run recklessly while criticizing and disgracing its former accomplishments. Even her beloved son, George, was dramatized as the stereotypical rich, lazy son that the public expected. And no one even wanted to know that what a simple and honest character he had possessed. As to how much all of this hurt Eva and ran her to ruin, no one cared. The public was only interested out of curiosity about how a super-rich, evil woman who killed her whole family lived her pitiful later years. So that happened more and more, and eventually, Eva's personality was transfigured until people started calling her a lunatic. Probably rightfully so. It was said that this sometimes reminded her of her father, whom she had once admired in his later years, and that she laughed at herself with scorn. And on the day of that final family conference, because Yoshinomiya Rudolph's daughter Ange had been sick and had stayed with her mother's family, she had not participated. At the age of 6, she had lost her family and had gained Eva as her guardian. Since Ange had become Eva's only blood relative, Eva took very good care of her. She had imposing guards surrounding Ange's person at all times to prevent her from coming to harm. Ange had even her right to play with friends, to come home from school together, and to enjoy the seasons together, stolen away, so that she can live a full and pleasant school life. Eva had sent Ange to an elegant boarding school that took care of her every need, completely isolating her from the world. She didn't even know the popular songs that girls her age might hum. She was never given a chance to enjoy window shopping with her friends or stuffing her mouth with crepes, much less an encounter with a member of the opposite sex to make her heart throb. Ange did not have a single friend. If anyone carelessly acted friendly with Ange, they would be scolded by the guards or else the teachers. All of them were strictly ordered not to let the shabby humans approach the daughter of the esteemed Ushidamiya family. During that time, the talk shows were always mentioning Ushidamiya Eva, always spreading rumors about her countless financial misdeeds. Those who knew her daughter was naturally began, or those who knew who her daughter was, naturally began to keep their distance. Even now, she was called a witch at school, and any time something bad happened, even if there was no proof, it would be whispered as though it were absolute truth, that she had imposed her will on the school staff. The environment makes the person. By now, she had a heart as wild as those around her feared. No one trusted her, so she never bothered to believe in anyone. No one loved her, so she never even tried to love. And when Eva caught an incurable illness on top of all this, it was whispered that this too was a conspiracy, and this time, Ange was set up as the mastermind. Everyone whispered that the daughters of witches are witches too. Even the talk shows and the weekly magazines whispered that. So Ange also accepted it, as though it was as though it was obviously true. Therefore, since she already believed she was a witch, when she heard that the name of the Golden Witch was being turned over to her, she only felt like saying, "You just figured that out now." However, she was at least sure of one thing. This title of witch that she had inherited would definitely never be inherited by anyone else. She would be the last head of the Ushidamiya family, and the last lonely Golden Witch. Ange could be seen on the roof of a skyscraper. Compared to the winds of the world that had beaten down upon her until now, this strong, cold wind was warm and pleasant. Below her lay a beautiful nighttime scene and a dazzling river of red and white lights. It was supposed to be clear out that night, so there really should have been countless stars stretching out over the sky. However, the light from the ground was too bright, so you couldn't see them at all. Ange couldn't help but think that what she truly sought must lie in that unseen starlight. The world of reality below her looked so far from here. She could imagine that this place was the closest to the world she really should be in. There was only one thing that Ange cursed. Why had she not been able to go to that family conference on that day 12 years ago? Even though if she had gone, it would probably have been possible for her to stay with her family forever. Lately, she had been dreaming about her family over and over again. The person I was 12 years ago calls out frantically, urging them not to go to the family conference. But both Dad and Mom are too far away and my hand won't reach them. Battler Nissan always loved me a lot and he'd always pat my head. But even though it looks like that hand's about to touch me, even it does not reach. For some reason I started having that dream over and over. Every time I had that same dream, I uselessly tried to stretch out my hand even more forcefully over and over and over. Even if only Battler Nissan had lived, then perhaps we'd at least be able to support each other in my cold and lonely reality. But his hand never reaches me. Even if I climb to the roof of this tall building, I'm so far away from all of them. A mysterious girl appears in my dreams and urges me. I'll bet you anything that's Burncastle. She urges me to find the truth of what happened 12 years ago.
あの日。何があったのかを知ることができたなら帰ってきてくれるの。せめて誰かが。
I'll bet you anything, the Ange that we saw was like Berncastle taking this Ange and pulling her back in time or something like that. And the ending of this is gonna be like her finally being able to save at least someone. And that would be Battler, I guess. There was no way that anyone would answer that question for her. I get it. In this world, I have no family or friends, so let's go. Let's go home to where my family is. From the start, Ange's figure had been on the outer side of the fence. The scenery below her eyes was distant, beautiful, and so fantastical that it actually didn't give rise to fear. If I look down, I'll surely be swallowed up by the world below. So I looked up, because I wanted to be taken to the world above, the world where my family was. Who cares about vast wealth? Who cares about cursed gold? Who cares about the golden witch Beatrice? What I really want, even a mountain of gold couldn't get me. What I need for that is to take a single step forward, just that little bit of courage. At that moment, I definitely heard a voice. It was a voice I knew, a voice that had called to me in my dreams for so long. Before my eyes, in other words, in midair above that jet-black nighttime scenery, there was the figure of the girl I'd seen in my dreams. She spoke again with the same voice I'd heard in those dreams.
あなたの助けが必要なの。私の助け？誰が？あなたの家族がよ。あなたの家族は永遠に12年前の今日から明日に閉じ込められているわ。それを救えば私の家族は帰ってくるの？
When I asked the question I had most wanted to, the girl cruelly stopped talking and hung her head.
それは約束できないの。敵は黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェ。強大な相手よ。私に太刀打ちできない。でも同じ黄金の魔女ならなんとかなるかもしれない。何の話かわからないわ。1986年の1998年の最後のベアトリーチェだけ。つまりあなたよ。エンジェベアトリーチェ。12年前の魔女が私の家族を奪ったの。そう、あなたの仇にあたる。あなたに常に孤独な未来を強いる元凶よ。私の家族の仇。
It's true, I guess Ange would have been also like alone in the same way in the previous 2 episodes as well.
見返りにあなたの望む最も理想的な世界、家族の帰ってくる世界のかけらを探してあげる。
There's that talk of fragments again, so it seems like the whole multiverse really is a thing here. I wonder if we're going to get more info on how that works or anything, or if that's just going to be kind of something that they always keep mentioning in passing.
でも必ず希望が叶うと約束はできない。1986年のベアトリーチェのゲーム版はあまりに完璧。今日の手土産にその理想のかけらを持参しようとしたんだけれど、未だに見つけられないの。かなりの強固な運命よ。ラムダデルタと戦った時以来のね。何を言ってるのかわからない。あなたに復讐のチャンスを。見返りにあなたが享受できる可能性の中で 最も幸せな結末を探して持ってくることを約束するわ。復讐徒労になるかもしれない。仮に復讐を成し遂げられたとしても、家族が帰ってくる絶対の保証はない。奇跡的確率でせいぜい一人を連れ戻せるかどうかよ。
And understood the meaning of that dream. The dream where it seemed that, with just a little more stretching, her hand might be able to reach at least Battler Nissan.
奇跡的な確率でも、それはゼロよりは高いのよね。1% くらい。
あらゆる可能性の数値は結果の前に無力よ。だからその数字を私には語ることができない。
でも私が何もしないよりは絶対にわずかの可能性がある。
ええ、あなたが希望を捨てない限り。ただし覚悟して、それは限りなくゼロに近い。
いいわ、乗るわその話。
いいのに、多分もう二度とここへは帰ってこれないわよ。
ここは私のいるべき世界じゃないわ。そして私のいるべき世界は私が自分で探す。あなたの名前を聞かせて。
奇跡の魔女ベルンコスト、そして我が名においてあなたは黄金の魔女エンジェ・ベアトリーチェだと認める。
I think we just got an update. Oh shit, we did. Ange Beatrice, the final witch, born in 1998. She was named by Ava as her successor and was accepted with Bernkastel as her guardian. She had to start from square one as a witch, but because she exists 12 years in the future, she possesses the ultimate sort of magic resistance, for none of Beatrice's magic can target her. Furthermore, in a manner opposite to her brother's magical resistance, she has a natural talent for attacks against anything of a magical nature. She holds tremendous potential for both offense and defense, however, the distance is vast. 12 years is a long time. We also got Bernkastel here. It doesn't seem like the what would you call that? The description here is any different. Also, we didn't look at her original art. Actually, the coloring on the skirt there is surprisingly good, but everything else looks bad. The instant she proclaimed that I was a witch, I felt dizzy, as though something inside me had changed drastically. At that time, I heard a clunk. It was the sound of the door that had opened to the staircase of the roof. It was Aunt Ava's guards. They're only guards in name. Aren't they the cage that wraps the tightest around me, shutting me in? They saw that I was already on the other side of the fence and dashed forward, horrified.
20マルタイ発見。屋上応援求む。援助さん、探しましたよ。そこは危ないですから早くこちらへ。
なにあれ
ファンクラブよ。私結構モテるの。
捕まる必要はないわね。行きましょう。
Looking annoyed, Bernkastel turned on her heels. In the jet-black sky. Watching that perfectly casual gesture, I followed her as though it was completely normal.
待ちなさい。早まるな。危ない。
ああ、ダメね。全然ダメ。
I wonder if she got that expression from Battler, or if she just independently happened to be the type to say that.
じゃあまたね。See you again.
No, she's definitely saying things that she got from Battler.
迎えにはリムジンをよこしてちょうだい。みんなも一緒だから。じゃあね。
エンジェさん。
Well, that was pretty cool. I think after this we're gonna take a look at the characters and everything. We'll talk about those again. So it definitely seems like Castle has the power to time travel, or at least to travel between dimensions, or fragments as she called them. Runaway Genji. It says it right there. I don't know if they actually said it previously, though. Oh, I should have looked at... oh, I'll check it again in the video. But I didn't actually look at Ange's voice actress. I want to look her up to see what else she's done. So I'm thinking next episode, this whole thing, she was just like, I wonder what's gonna happen now that, or no, she was like, I wonder what would have happened if I was at the family conference. I feel like every time there's been like some subtle change in each episode, and I feel like the subtle change for the next episode might be that that Ange won't be sick and that she'll actually be going to the conference. But that'll be a different character, basically, because she'll be the 6-year-old Ange, so... yeah, we really have no idea what she's gonna be like. And that's that. I think that, that glass breaking noise was meant to be her breaking through the window there. But when she rescued Battler. Huh. So now it's got this this portrait of the witch here. So before we end the episode, we've got episode 4 here. Alliance of the Golden Witch. I'm not going to read that description yet. But we've got the episode 3 tips, which I'd like to go over. What happens if we try and execute Ange? Oh, nothing. This is some stuff that we didn't see. The Chester Sisters Imperial Guard Corps. An Imperial Guard Corps formed by the Dragon King Pendragon in memory of the flight of the Red Dragon and composed only of sisters. They are technically subordinates of the Dragon King, but because of a long relationship with successive generations of Beatrices, it was permitted that 2 Imperial Guard soldiers be lent out. The sisters are simulated life forms created by magic. For that reason, further sisters with a great variety of personalities are continually being created even now. A great cost must be paid to manifest them in the human world, so summoning them can be quite a tricky prospect, even considering the tremendous fighting power they offer. For that reason, they are often summoned as honor guards to serve during special ceremonies and the like. Then we've got the Golden Bows, one of the articles of sniping equipment used by the Chester Sisters Imperial Guard Corps. The arrow's trajectory can be controlled at will, but it takes a special talent and special training to wield its true potential. For that reason, merely being able to equip it is an honor reserved for high-class snipers. It's a masterpiece anti-armor sniping bow capable of penetrating a wide variety of armors and barriers, and with a rich array of ammo that may be used as the arrow's warhead. As a side note, the ammo primarily used during the story were wire-guided winged pierce rounds. The fact that they are wire-guided makes them heavily resistant to deception and capable of long-distance precision sniping amidst complicated indoor terrain. And regarding the succession of witches. In the noble families of witches, family secrets are often inherited by a single child to prevent a propagation of hidden arts, and a subsequent decline in their quality. This rule applies for the endless witches, so their most secret arts are passed down to a single pupil, and once one has passed down these arts to another, they retire to further stem their propagation. Custom dictates that a witch from another sect make a recommendation before succession may occur. Lambda Delta recommended Ava, Bernkastel recommended Ange. It is unknown who recommended Beato. Interesting. Furthermore, during the story, Beatrice inherited that name along with the position. But that is a very recent innovation. The predecessor was the original Beatrice, and all endless witches before her had different names. After that, it became customary for the name to be inherited as well, and Ava followed that tradition when giving Ange the name of Beatrice. Alright, so is there any other characters here that have been added? Not really. Let's just, nope. So it seems like this yellow line is like the Beatrice line. And it seems like there's nothing new there. So, let's talk about all these characters, shall we? First, we'll start with Kenzo. In this episode, he died pretty early, but I still think that he may be the second culprit. And that would mean that if he survived, then Ava would be the person who killed him. But hold on. Let's just check one thing before that. It says that Kenzo died on the first Twilight. So, in fact, it says that all 6 of these died on the first Twilight. So, in theory, does that not mean that none of these people could have survived and to be the second culprit who killed Nanjo? I don't know. I mean, it's possible that everything that Ava Beatrice was saying in red, like I was theorizing a while back, was just nonsense, and it's only what Beatrice says in red that matters, but I don't know. Solved the riddle of the epitaph, returned from Rokanjima alive. The witch praised her victory and gave her all the gold and magic. This seems like it could have just been Ava the entire time. And it could have just been Ava who created this entire letter. But right now, I don't really know. So yeah, Kenzo, we didn't get, like, much character for him this time, but we did get, the possibility that he may have been a person who survived the first Twilight and then went on to kill Nanjo. But if the game record is to be believed, that did not happen. So, yeah. Assuming that the game record rules out the possibility of anybody faking their deaths, then that means that yeah, he did die, and that means that Ava is the only culprit, probably. Kraus, one interesting thing this episode is that it seemed like he doesn't mind the idea of Jessica and Kanon getting together. Like it didn't seem like it was just a, oh, we're in the Golden Land, anything goes here kind of thing when he said that. It seemed more like he just didn't mind. So that was kind of interesting. I didn't expect that from him. I feel like he might have something to do with what was going on here in this episode, because you really can't count out Kraus. Like, I underestimated him in the first episode, and I don't want to make that same mistake again, so I'm still considering the possibility that he and maybe Natsuhi were in on something, and they may have caused some of the murders, maybe. I don't know. Jessica, we didn't really get much this episode. Nanjo was very suspicious, but I don't know. I mean, Ava Beatrice said his death was a homicide, not a suicide. And I don't know. I'm still not sure what's going on there. But I do think that he had no alibi for Maria and Rosa's murders, and he also had no alibi for George escaping, and he also could have been the one to kill Natsuhi and Kraus. So, even though we know that Ava is probably the one who did it, Nanjo is just as much of a likely suspect. Hideyoshi, we pretty much, we know that he's like loyal to Ava, and he wants the best for her, and that's his whole deal. We had a bit going with George here, where it's like he really wanted to see Shannon's face again. And I think what really happened with him was probably something like Ava convinced him to go outside, or Nanjo convinced him to go outside. Because I don't think that he would have gone on his own. I think that either Ava or Nanjo helped him. But I don't know which one. And his death. Oh yeah, the 8 numbers. I don't remember that at all. I actually did check some longitude and latitude stuff, I think, a while when we first saw these numbers, but yeah, they're not like the right amount. They're like way too... There's way too many numbers here for it to be that. So I really don't know what this could be. Like, at best I could think it's maybe a phone number, but I don't know. Maybe it's like a code to a safe or something? I don't know. Beatrice, yeah. It seemed like she was getting some, like, interesting characterization here, and then it turned out it was all just a ruse. Which is almost even more interesting characterization for her. Just to show that, yeah, she really is that cruel, she really is that heartless. But I still feel like there's something going on between her and Battler. some kind of, like, not camaraderie, but, I don't know, something, I don't know, like, I still feel like there's some chemistry there that's, I don't want to say I ship them or anything, but, like, I'm saying, like, it seems like they're kind of going in that direction still, and it hasn't necessarily, been ruled out, the idea of her being, like, the love interest, I guess. Rudolph and Kirie. We learned a lot about Kirie this time, actually. We learned that maybe she doesn't think too highly of Battler, actually. But it may just be that she feels pain when she looks at Battler rather than anger or, like, hatred. I don't know. And it's also hard to know how much of that scene that we saw that we should actually take as meaning anything, because it could have just been nonsense. So, I don't know. Rudolph had his really cool moment with Ava Beatrice and the Stakes of Purgatory, when he was fighting, what's her face? Lucifer, I think? Or was it Belphegor? It was Belphegor. Yeah. And, yeah, he, like, won that duel by having, Ava Beatrice in the line of fire. Battler, it seems like he really just got played this episode. Like, he fell for Beatrice's trap, hook, line, and sinker. Like, completely. Without a, yeah, like, without a hitch. The whole thing. He bought it all. If it wasn't for, well, if it wasn't for Beatrice slipping up at the very end, and also Ange showing up, then, that would have been everything. That would have been it. He would have been, everything would have been over. Genji... I don't think Genji is suspicious in this episode, but there is some weird stuff going on with him and Runaway. I'm not sure, because I just realized that it might just be a coincidence, but his name is Runaway Genji, so I don't know. I mean, that's obviously not the same as, it's not spelled the same as Runaway, but Beatrice pronounces it the same way, so I don't know. Rosa. She really did not redeem herself in any way in this episode. I still think that Kirie is my favorite character so far, and Rosa has been knocked down a few pegs. In fact, I think Ange here is actually, she's actually, like, taken up a potential, like, how would you say this? She's, like, taking up the reins as, like, a potential contender for, like, best girl or whatever. Because, I don't know, what little we saw, however, I did like. But then we've got, Rosa, who's kind of, like, getting worse as the story goes on. I don't know. But she's at least not stupid. Or at least not idiotic. But she's just... Let's say she's smart enough to pretend she's stupid, but she's also stupid enough to think she's smart, if that makes any sense. Maria didn't really do much at all this route. She did have that moment with Beatrice where she's like, "You promised to take me to the Golden Land." Which, I don't know, that didn't really mean much, because that was all just an act by Beatrice. But then when they were in the Golden Land, I noticed that the Chiester sisters seemed particularly subservient to Maria, which was not so... Well, it's pretty fitting, actually, because the whole, like, Alice theme fits Maria a lot better, I think, than it did with Ava Beatrice. I already talked a little bit about Ange, but I'm very intrigued by her. I think she's pretty interesting. I like her personality so far. She got a good design. Unfortunately, if we see her again, it's probably going to be the 6-year-old version of her. So, we'll have to see what that's going to be like. Next we've got Shannon, who really didn't do much this route at all. She came back to have a little moment with George, but that was it. Canon had his whole bit. You know, I still think it's possible that Canon actually survived, and that really was Canon that helped out Jessica, and then killed Nanjo. But, I don't know. Goda, I think, died in this route. I don't think he was suspicious at all in this route. Kumasawa is very suspicious. I think that she might be the original Beatrice. The thing is, when I say the original Beatrice, I mean she might be the person who originally lent Kinzo his gold. But I don't know. We really don't have enough to say much else about her. But I don't think that it was just nonsense that she transformed into Virgilia in this episode. I think that probably means something. It probably signifies some link between her and the original Beatrice. And speaking of Virgilia, I actually really liked her when she was on Battler's side, but then if that all turned out to be like a ruse, that all turned out to be fake, then I don't know. I'm not sure I like her as much if that was all just, because I liked her personality when she was like calm and collected, but then when she started getting all weird and creepy-eyed, I don't know, that didn't seem to suit her at all. So, I liked the character that she was playing before. I'm not so sure that I like the actual her. We actually got some interesting, some development with Lambda Delta and Beatrice. We got, the idea that Beatrice is a human who is not a witch, and Lambda Delta is giving her powers temporarily. And the whole idea that Lambda Delta wants to be happening right here is that Beatrice is just keeping Baron Castle occupied with this game forever, basically. And that made me think of Kinzo and Beatrice's arrangement. How maybe the way that Beatrice is actually being kept kind of prisoner by Kinzo is because they also have an outstanding game, and they're kind of stuck at maybe a stalemate or an impasse with that game, and that's why she's trapped in this. I don't know. Ava Beatrice, I doubt we'll ever see her again, but who knows? We might. I don't know what to think of her. Yeah, if we ever see her again, I might have more thoughts on her, but right now I just feel, she was just a big ruse by Beatrice. Nothing she did mattered. Nothing she did had any real, like, yeah, I don't know. Just nothing she did mattered. And yeah, her having blue eyes was totally a sign that she was, Beatrice. Does she have blue eyes? It's hard to tell. I don't know. Also, one thing to note, the symbol on Anj's sleeve here, it's slightly different from the one-winged eagle crest. I don't know, it seems more like a dragon. I wonder if that's significant at all. Anyway, I think that's pretty much everyone. There's also Runaway, who was introduced this episode, who I have a feeling, although he claims to be a demon and everyone's claiming that he's a demon, I have a feeling he might actually be a real person. If that hidden mansion is a real thing, then clearly that mansion would have servants, and I could see Runaway being one of them. So, I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna pick this up next time. we'll start with episode 4, and that'll be whenever that occurs. So we're good for now. So until next time, take care, and I will see you then.